Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Living in Alignment podcast. I am joined here today by Dr. Yaniv Zaid. And Yaniv is known to the world as Dr. Persuasion, economist and attorney. Dr. Yaniv Zaid acts as a business consultant to government departments, private firms, and public organizations. He holds a PhD in law and utilizes his rich knowledge and experience to help others achieve success. Dr. Zaid is recognized worldwide as an expert in the fields of public speaking, marketing, sales, negotiation, and persuasion. And he placed third in the 2003 World Ranking of Public Speakers. Wow, that's quite an accomplishment. Following
Thanks.
20 years of international success, Dr. Zaid is the author of 11 best-selling books, including Public Speaking, Creative Marketing, and The Sales Bible, and is often invited to lecture and consult around the world. And I know he has a new book that's
Yes.
on its, making its way out to all over the world right now too. So I can't wait to dive more into that too. I believe it's called the 21st Century Sales Bible. So super exciting stuff. Welcome to the show,
Thank you, Amy.
Dr.
It's great
Yaniv.
being here. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. It's great to have um you here. And it sounds like you have so many like really cool accomplishments. And I know public speaking is like one of the biggest fears that a lot of people have. So to be what was it? You placed third in the world ranking of public speakers. So you're a courageous guy, and I'm sure an amazing speaker. So before we dive in, I would love, or I guess we will dive in by starting with I just want to give you the floor and let you just tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background. I will say that Dr. Yaniv is right now, he's in Israel, Tel
Yes.
Aviv, right?
Aviv, yes.
And he's 7 hours ahead of me right now. So it's evening where he is and daytime where I am. And so thank you for being here all the way from Israel. And we would love to hear a little bit more about you.
Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. I heard lots of chapters from your podcast and I loved it. So I'm 46 years old. I'm married for the second time. I have two kids, 13 and 15 years old. I live in Tel Aviv in Israel. And like you said, in the last 20 years, I delivered more than 2,500 lectures and workshops worldwide. And I'm an international expert of sales, marketing, negotiation, public speaking. It started when I was in university. I studied law and economic. And I joined the debate society. Debate is, it's like a mind game between two parties, one in favor, one against. And I participated in many competitions, debate competitions worldwide. And I had I was very good at it. And I also, like you said, I was number three in the world championship in 2003. And in Europe, I reached the semifinals in 2002. And then I realized that debate method is very good, but most people, they don't know how to express themselves. They express themselves and they don't know how to, explain what they do. And they are lousy in job interviews. And if they are startups, they don't know how to present themselves. I know we have a lot of entrepreneurs here. So my mission in life, when I realized my mission in life is to help people express themselves and achieve their goals. Whether there are authors that would like to spread the word and publish books and sell the books, or lecturers who would like to build a lecture and market it, or entrepreneurs that have startups, they would like to get the startups up to build a business and to create a community of clients and to grow this community. So my mission in life is to help people to increase their income and build their professional authority. And this is what I've been doing since then. I help private firms and big organizations and also small and medium businesses and also private people who would like to say something. They have a speech even in a private event, and I love it very much. I enjoy it very much.
Hmm. So you said something that's jumped out at me about how like people don't know how to express themselves. Is it like people don't know how to like really represent themselves powerfully to their audiences so that people really understand their value and what they offer? Is that something that you help people with?
Yes, among other things, it's a gift that people always say whether you are born with it or not, but it's not like this. This is something you need to develop. It's a tool you need to develop. And actually, if you can look at the regular education system, people don't teach us this. If
Yeah.
actually, if you ask people, that there was a research many years ago that they asked people what are the most important things in life for you. So the four most common answers were health, wealth, love, and happiness. Meaning love, I would like people to love me, including my spouse and friends. Health, I would like to be healthy to accomplish things. Wealth, I would like to have enough money to achieve my goals. And the happiness, I would like to be happy and live in fulfillment. So you look at those four things, and then you look at the formal education system. They don't teach us this, not in preschool, elementary school, high school, then college, university. I can tell you, I study law, and I became a lawyer, and they taught me everything in the university. Criminal law and public law, everything except three things: one, how to speak in front of a judge; two, how to write legal documents; and three, how to market myself as a lawyer. So I get
Mm.
out of the university. I'm now a lawyer, whether I am a salaried employee or self-employed, and I don't know the only three things I need to know: how to write, how to talk, and how to market. I don't know how to do it. And I also
Mm.
study economy. And in economy, the word marketing, I never heard the word marketing in economy, in the degree economy. And the word money was only in theoretical models that had nothing to do with the real life. So there is a gap. There is a gap between what the formal educational system teach you and what you need to have in regular life. So my mission, there is an industry, the experts industry or experts economy that I'm part of, that there is a non-formal educational system, okay, that teaches people the skills they need. So one of the most important skills is how to deliver a speech, how to deliver a message, how to express yourself. Because most people, even if I'm very good at something professionally, I don't know how to deliver it in a job interview
Mm-hmm.
in front of investors or clients. And at the end of the game, this is what you need to do in order to promote yourself and your business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is so true. There's so many people, and especially like in the people in my audience, who are entrepreneurs, a lot of them have a lot of gifts and talents. They might even have created an incredible course in a specific niche or whatever. So they've been trained in or they've educated themselves or whatever in whatever their niche is, but then it's like nobody knows how to find their stuff because they haven't been taught how to market. Like you were just saying, like you were taught about criminal law, but you were not taught how to market yourself as a lawyer. And it's
Yeah.
so interesting, when I think about that, because I got a degree in college too. And it is interesting how, yeah, we're set free with this degree to like fend for ourselves with no clue what to do with it once we get out of college, right? Like no clue how to actually succeed with it, to get ourselves noticed in the right places. And so I love that you were able to like see that gap and make your life's work around
My mission is
filling.
to narrow this gap for everyone in my department. By the way, it's in other subjects as well. For example, nobody teaches us how to find love and how to maintain love, and how to
Mm,
find friends and how to save money and how to invest money wisely. So we need a lot of consultants, a lot of lectures, a lot of podcasts, a lot of information out there after we finish with the regular system. Even if we were top students, with the best scores, then actually we don't know almost anything about real life and how to handle it.
yeah, I know it's true. I feel like in a lot of ways, I feel like the education system is antiquated. Like it's just never been touched in so long. And there
Yeah.
are so many things like that we don't learn in school, like how to balance a checkbook or how to, like you said, invest or, things like that. How to find love, how to keep the love that you find, all of that stuff. And I guess that's why there are,
How to raise kids properly, how to,
yeah, yeah.
uh,
So that's, I guess, why there are so many authors and people that are doing that, that's, helping to educate people on those things. But it is interesting that they don't teach us like the basics of how to succeed in your life. They don't teach that in school, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Quite quite the opposite actually. For most people, they come with lots of big dreams to the educational system, the formal one, and then they leave with less capabilities than before.
Yeah, like we're learning things about not that history isn't important and the other things that they teach in school aren't important, but they don't really apply to our day-to-day like success in life with our relationships and marketing ourselves and our career path and all of that stuff. So yeah, it's so true. So what are some of the things that you do to help people learn how to effectively get their message out there in a way that you know,
Yeah.
helps
First of all,
the right people find them?
understand what are your clients' needs and problems. And there is a principle in marketing: sell the problem before the solution. Because most
Mhm.
entrepreneurs, when they sell their products and services or their stuff, they immediately start talking about their the comfort zone. About the code, about the product, about the ingredients, about technical stuff. And the client is only interested interested in their needs, their problems. And if I understand the need, I can sell the solution better. And also, it has an effect on the pricing, because if we take flowers, for example, you take a regular bouquet of flowers, you can charge, let's say, $50. But if you call it a bridal bouquet, a bouquet that you use the flowers for the wedding, then it's you can charge $250, and it's the same
Mhm.
flowers. Okay, so what is the difference? The need. Because when the bride and groom, they buy flowers for the wedding, they don't actually buy flowers. They buy the winning picture, the winning image.
Experience.
10 years from now, they will sit with the kids and look at the photo album, and then will say, oh, look how good mommy looked. Or in 30 years from now with the grandkids, look how grandmother was beautiful. Or they buy the feeling for a queen for a day of the bride. So it's not actually I buy flowers, I buy all the package of the flowers. So if you are an entrepreneur, you'd like to sell your products and services, you need to understand why people buy your stuff. And I can give an example. I also deal with marketing writing, and I help companies like, for example, coffee companies. And I don't drink coffee, okay? And I wrote many scripts, marketing scripts for how to sell coffee to people in coffee shops. So you can ask how. Or I consulted to banks that I don't have an account in their banks. So I help politicians who don't vote for them. So you can ask why, how do you do it? So the answer is that I don't need to know the ingredients of the coffee or to drink coffee in order to sell coffee. I just need to know why people are drinking coffee. What are the needs that coffee is the answer, or what is the problem that coffee is the solution. And then I can deliver the message both by orally, verbally, and both in writing that why we should do it. So this is the first, I think, maybe the most important tool for entrepreneurs. Always think on the other side. It's very difficult. It's against our instinct, but you should consider the other side before you start talking about what you are interested of.
Right. So it's really about knowing your audience, right? Like before you can sell anything, you need to know who you're selling it to and what they
Yeah,
need, what problems they have so that you can accurately present a solution, right?
yeah,
And
and
so do you feel like a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs are doing it? I'm guessing the answer is yes based on what you just said, but
yeah,
like doing it backwards, like they're trying to sell something to like a blanket of people who may or may not even be interested in what they are offering because they haven't figured out who their actual audience is. So they're like that saying, if you're marketing to everybody, you're marketing to nobody.
yeah. You need to define the target audience. You need to define who are the people. What age. Are they married or single? Where do they live? You can target many target audiences, yes, but won't be efficient. So if you'd like to have a niche, to have something to talk about, then you need to choose your audience, and then you write the message and you talk about the message targeted to this audience. And it's very
Right.
important. By the way, I can give you another example. I also sell my books online on Amazon, and I always check pricing my books comparison to other products. And I noticed that there is a Mozart CDs of Mozart on Amazon you can buy for adults. Okay, Mozart CDs, it's like something like 99 songs in a CD, and it costs something like $10. Okay, and there is also Baby Mozart. Baby Mozart is something for kids between 0 to 3, age 0 to 3. So obviously you sell to the parents. And Baby Mozart is just 9 songs. It's just 28 minutes, and it costs around $50, 5 times more. Okay,
Mm.
so what do you can say how? By the way, Mozart didn't write anything special for kids, So probably Mozart's grandchildren repackaged the product, and now they're saying it's Baby Mozart for kids. Now you can ask how. How come I sell something 5 times more when it's something like only 28 minutes instead of 13 hours? The answer is again the need. What do I really sell to the parents? Because I don't sell
Yeah.
them CD. If I will say to them, I have a plastic here, I have some plastic here, it costs $99, okay, or it costs $50, then they will say, okay, I will burn it online, or I will buy it in the market for half a price or something like that. What you're actually saying to the parents, or selling to the parents, is a calmer kid, a baby that will cry less. The baby that will have more chance in life to succeed, because you explained that classic music operates, the creativity of the baby. You sell them parenting without a guilt, because my kid is now hearing something. It's hearing classic music, not some garbage, from a TV show or something like that. So it's not theoretical discussion, because when, like say, entrepreneur would like to sell Baby Mozart, he will write in the landing page on Amazon. They write, would you like a calmer kid? Would you like your kid to have more chances in life? Do you want to become a better parent? Then Baby Mozart is a solution. And this is how you build the entire persuasion process and marketing process to the parents, and you explain to them, again, you need to know your niche, you need to know your audience, the parents with kids between 0 to 3, and then you can send them the exact product for them, for their needs, and then you can charge more.
It's so interesting. I'm thinking about this just based on an experience I had last night on Amazon. I was searching for a specific tea that I want to try to I'm going to do something where I can't have any coffee. I do drink coffee, and I can't have any coffee leading up to this event for a while. And so they recommended this tea that will help you like wean yourself off of the coffee, right? So I go to look for the tea on Amazon, and there's a gazillion kinds, and it's all the same kind of tea leaves, right? But the ones that jumped out to me were the ones that said coffee alternative, or replace your coffee with this, or they're talking about how many milligrams of caffeine it has in comparison to coffee, rather than just talking about the fact that it's tastes good and it's organic.
Yeah,
Right? Like it's like
yeah,
two different, like, and the ones that were like speaking to my need, which was wean yourself off coffee, like like, it has nothing to do, this tea has nothing to do with coffee, but the ones that had coffee in the keywords are the ones that I was like, oh, this is probably the right one for me. And it's the same exact product, right? It's just
yeah. The same
marketed
product,
differently.
different marketing. Yeah, yeah. By the way, the product must be good for long-term relationship with the client. If it's not good,
Hmm.
it's not. Then no matter what I write, you will drink it once and then you won't buy it again. But
Right.
my basic assumption, and I tell it to every entrepreneur and a client of mine, is that you are good, the products are good. Now let's think how to market it, and not let's know how everyone should know it. Harry Potter, for example, I am also in the book industry, so in the book, so Harry Potter is an example of a book who is also a good book, but the marketing is great. Every year you have hundreds of Harry Potters out there. Most of them don't succeed, and some of them succeed, but not like Harry Potter. So you need to have a combination between a good product, okay, a good professional person, and a good marketing, including in job interviews, also for salaried employees. If you can be the best professional, but if you don't know how to market yourself in a job interview, then no one will hire you.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like I always advise against using hype or false promises. Always say like under promise and over deliver rather than the other way around. I think a lot of people over promise and under deliver. And like you said, that's one way to just lose audience members and customers really, really quickly.
So I teach entrepreneurs to sell the problem before the solution. I also teach them to be authentic. not try to be like someone else. This is
Yes.
part of your podcast, living in alignment. So be authentic. Not people are usually trying to be someone else. I say to them, be the best version of yourself, and don't
Yes.
try to be Superman, and don't try to to say you're Superman. Say you're Batman. Okay, I always explain the differences, because I love superheroes very much. You can take Batman and Superman. They are both superheroes, and they both look like a human being, right? But actually, Superman is from another planet. Okay, and Batman is a regular person who developed non-regular, powers. So if Superman will have a workshop how to fly, okay, I can sit in the first row and write everything, and then he will tell me, go to a high building, check where the wind is, and then start flying. I will write everything. I will do it. I won't succeed because Superman is Superman. So if an entrepreneur trying to picture himself as I have a gift, a special gift, I was born with it, I'm very, very good, then people won't and they identify themselves with him, and they won't feel comfortable with him. You say, okay, he was born like this. I'm not. But if you say, no, I'm Batman, I was like you, and then I developed some powers. I worked very hard. I found my niche. I expressed myself better, etc. Then it's okay. Then people will say, okay, I am like him. I will follow his footsteps. I will listen to him. I will implement what he has to say or she has to say, and then I will better. So for me, for example, I wasn't born, I always liked talking, but I wasn't born, a public speaker. I trained myself, I improve, I still, improving myself from each time. This is what I teach my client. There are no secrets, no hidden, there's some sentence you will say that all clients will buy from you or something like that. You always try to improve yourself and to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah, I love that you're talking about this because, of course, being authentic is one of my favorite topics. And I feel like people just like ignore the advice all the time. Like, as a matter of fact, just today, somebody copied word for word something that I wrote and posted it on social media, pretending that they wrote it. This happens all the time, not just to me, to a lot of people.
It happens to me as
And
well.
yeah, and it's kind of sad because I feel like people do that for like A, because they're lazy and they don't want to do the work, but I feel like it actually hurts you in the long run because people want to connect with you, not you pretending to be somebody else. So if you're
Yeah,
like copying somebody else's work and you pretending that it's yours, you're not giving people the opportunity to see who you are, right?
yeah.
And I feel like I'm beating a dead horse a lot of the time because I talk about this all the time. And yet I watch even students that I teach and stuff do it all the time. Like, and I don't know what it is. If it's just like human nature to want to just like, they see somebody that's being successful. So they're like, I need to just pretend that I'm them. Kind of like what you said about Superman. It's like, well, you're not them. You have different gifts that I don't have that you can share. And anyway, I feel like copywriting is one of those, like you were talking about how you've been working on your skills for like your whole life. You weren't born a public speaker. You didn't get to be third in the world or whatever the title
Yeah,
was
also,
for.
I also English is not my mother language. I exercise myself all the time. And it's like being in good shape. I run a lot, so it's like running all the time. If you want to run for a month, then you lose shape. So English as well. I need to practice it all the time. So when I, for example, in a marathon of lecture or lectures all over the world, then my English is great. And when I don't speak, for example, a week or something in English, then maybe I lose some shape, and I need to get back on the horse. And also I found out, and also I did a lot of work, also mentally work with it, that I come from Israel, and the fact that I am successful in the United States and also in China and Russia and India, it's because I understand my unique perspective, as a Jewish people, as Israeli, we have we are a startup nation, we have a unique ecosystem, and that I don't need to compete with you, for example. I don't need to compete with an American when I sell to Americans. I need to be exactly who I am, Dr. Persuasion from Israel, from the Middle East, with my niche, with my background, with my experience. And then I bring something to Americans or to Chinese or to Vietnamese or to Indians that they don't have there, because if I try to be an American, I can't be an American. I don't
Right.
have the mentality, I don't have the connections, I don't have the sharp in English, everything. So I'm doing the best I can all the time to be the best version of me.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like you said, like we don't need to compete with each other. If we all just acted like ourselves, we're all unique and we all bring different things to the table. And there doesn't need to be competition and there doesn't need to be, this comparisonitis that we all think that we have to live up to some expectation based on what somebody else is doing, or that we need to do things the way somebody else is doing, or teach what somebody else is teaching. Like you said, you bring something to the table based on your perspective, being from Israel and the way that have grown up, that other people just, it's a different perspective than if you were trying to do it like an American would do it. So I love that. And I also I just think it's important to just circle back for a second about what you were talking about when you were talking about how you've been working. Well, you're working on your English constantly. You're working on your public speaking skills. I feel like the skills piece um, is another thing that people don't take seriously enough. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why people try to copy other people, is because they don't invest the time and effort necessary to build their own skills. And I've actually been thinking about that a lot in the last few days, being in a new year. Like, what skills do I want to focus on this year? Like, what skills do I want to get better at this year? I have a lot of skills pertaining to my area of expertise, which is marketing, right? But there are areas of marketing that I could actually take the time, like you're talking about, like practice, learn more, implement, practice, and really, like, by the end of the year, if I took a couple skills like that and focused on them, I could be way better at those particular skills by the end of the year. And I feel like human beings don't do that enough. I feel like um, we try to be the jack of all trades and just try to be like mediocre at too many things at once rather than getting really good at something. And you're such a perfect example of what it looks like when you really focus on something. Like, your English is amazing. And the fact that you're like a famous public speaker with English not even being your first language. I'm assuming you speak in English
Yeah.
on stage.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, obviously, yes, yes, I can tell you that I fulfill, I have lots of dreams. Since I was, by the way, I had a dream when I was a boy, 6 years old. I went with my parents. I was born in Haifa in the north of Israel, to a book fair, and then I immediately fell in love with books, and I wanted to be one day behind the booth, to be an author myself. And I fulfilled this dream for the first time in when I was 27 years old. And each time I had different dreams, and I worked very hard to achieve it. So, for example, I wanted to be a bestseller author on Amazon, and I fulfilled it for the first time in 2012. And you see the picture behind me. This is the Yad Eliyahu Center in Tel Aviv. This is the biggest hall lecturing hall in Israel. I had a vision since I was a kid, to be there one day to give a lecture. And in 2016, I was the warm-up act for John de Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. He had a sales workshop in Israel, and I was the lecturer before him. So another dream. So each time I work very hard to fulfill my dream. By the way, you mentioned people are copying you. So I'm also a lawyer, and one of the things I learned in law is how to fight those the copying. Because what we sell actually is our knowledge and our time. So if people take our knowledge and try to act as if it's theirs, then we have a problem, a business problem, not just a moral problem. So we need to fight it. You need to fight it. And I think you said a lot of people, they don't do it, but the successful people do. The successful people, they work hard, they're authentic. I think I will say something maybe a little spiritually, but we are in 2024. People recognize fake. They recognize fake. They recognize when you're authentic and when you are not. And if you try to take someone else's words or content and act as if it's yours, then it won't work, especially for the long run, for the long term. So you need to be
Absolutely.
authentic, and we all have gifts. We all have gifts. We all, every entrepreneur, I look always in positive thinking and bright eyes. Every client that comes to me, I will immediately think how they can succeed, and I explain how they can succeed. And immediately I try to make a plan how it can be how can it work. So this is, by the way, I'm very optimistic. So this is why clients come to me to see my optimistic and positive view, and then we will become practical how to do it.
Right. So I love how you just spoke about like long term versus short term, because I feel like copying somebody else, acting like you're someone you're not, that's like a short term fix to try to like make a quick buck, as opposed to the long term, which is build your character, learn things, work on your skills, and be yourself. And you might not have success overnight, but you'll build a following over time because people will be attracted to who you are as a unique, authentic human being, correct?
Yes, 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 and also we all of us have a unique voice. We have messages to deliver. If you take the same subject, two lecturers, the same subject, they will provide different lectures. Because each one will bring his own or her own unique perspective and examples from life, and even if there is as an accident, and you take people that saw the accident from different views, and they ask them what happened, and they don't know the driver, they don't know the victim, they will say different answers because they all have different perspectives. So people are trying to hear different perspectives, and if you are authentic and if you're professional, the people will like it, and people will follow your footsteps. And it's okay not to be perfect. Again, not Superman, Batman. When I see 20 years old that try to say, oh, I live in a great apartment, I get a 6 0 number salary, I'm very rich, stuff like that, and it's like fake, then I think today, 2024, it's not working like it worked maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd like to like maybe use the coffee shop example for a second that you talked about. Um, because content creation is a big piece of marketing, as we all know. And I know that a lot of people in my audience have that's a question that comes up, or they don't know how to create content that's going to serve their audience in the most effective way. And so I would like to get into that topic, but I just before we like fully go there, because I know you can talk about how to build authority with content, I want to just know from the example that you gave with the coffee shop. You said, I don't even drink coffee, but I was able to create the sales material for this coffee shop based on knowing who they're marketing to. So how did you figure out, like you were talking about knowing like the age and the demographic of the audience and who you're actually marketing to? How did you figure that out with a coffee
For
shop that you don't own?
If we
And
take the coffee, it wasn't a coffee shop, it was a big international coffee company which has
okay.
many, many branches all over the world. So
Mm-hmm.
what I did is I did the research. I went to different branches. I talked to the employees. I talked to clients. I read a lot of material. I visited the factory which they produce the coffee. I learned about a lot about it. But I don't need to drink the coffee. I don't need to know the ingredients of the coffee. I need to understand why people buy it. And then when you sell the
Mm-hmm.
coffee, again, verbally and in writing, then you talk to the clients in their language. I can give another example. I consulted to a big international cosmetic company, and I had them sell anti-aging products for women 60 years old. Okay, I was 30 at the time, so I'm not the target audience. But again, I need to know how a woman 60 years old feels when she has a wrinkle, suddenly in the morning or something like that. Again, so I study, I talk to clients, I talk to employees, I talk to people, I read lots of material, professional material, and then I analyze it and I look at it objectively from the client's eye, and then I can build the script, I can build the landing page, the website, and this is what I recommend to clients. And sometimes entrepreneurs, they know the product so well, or they focus for years in their grandmother's garage. They develop the product, and they are so focused on that they don't understand how to sell it out there. Okay, it's like I vote for a specific party in the elections, and I vote for it in my entire life. And then if someone from outside the country will say, okay, why do you vote for this party or for this person? It's a I will be very it will be very difficult for me to explain, because it's
Mm-hmm.
so obvious for me that I don't know how to explain it to other people. So this is
Yeah.
exactly the gap that I'm trying to narrow down.
I love this. I love one thing that really important that you said is understand why people buy it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to buy it or consume it to understand why people buy it, right? And
Yeah.
that's why you're able to help people um, tweak their messages appropriately. I think that's so important. So what advice would you give to, let's say, an entrepreneur around like how to use their content to build authority in their niche, or to help their target audience see that they have expertise in a certain niche? Like, do you have any specific?
Yes. So first of all, write very clearly. Use regular words, not daily life words, not professional words. People try to be
Jargon.
sophisticated, and they try to write down, and then people don't understand. I was
Mhm.
once in a conference of coaches, life coaches, and usually I gave a lecture, and usually I love coming early to hear the lecturers before me or staying afterwards if my schedule allows it. And then there was a lecturer that talked about something, and then he gave an example. He asked the coaches, hundreds of people in the crowd, ask them, let's say you are in the garden with your kid, a 4 years old kid, and then he falls down and he hurt himself. So what do you do? What do this kid need? So they started shouting, the coaches, he needs a recognition, he needs all kinds of words, containment, all kinds of words. And he was shocked, and he said, guys, this is a 4 years old kid. He doesn't know what recognition is. He would like a hug. That's it, a hug and a smile. So they all try to be so sophisticated and try to
Right.
to say very big words. In the end, the answer is always simple, very simple. So write simple words, daily life word, and talk in a daily life matter like people talk. Don't try to be
Mm-hmm.
sophisticated, especially in marketing writing. And the other thing I should say, if an entrepreneur would like to be recognized as a brand or as a professional authority, they need to provide social proof about themselves. Because what is social proof, by the way? If I will say that I am very good at what I do and I am excellent and I'm very professional, it doesn't sound objective. It sounds subjective because I'm talking about myself. So obviously I'm going to speak highly of myself. And if I would try to sell something, my product, I would say it's a great product, the product is good, it will help you. Again, it doesn't sound objective, it sounds subjective because this is my product. So obviously I'm going to speak highly of it. But if I will show you evidence, okay, regular objective evidence, I will show you testimonials of other clients or other users. What do they say? I will show you amount of users, amount of countries which I operate, the degrees I have, formal certificates, stuff like that. Then people will believe me, not because I said so, because I deliver them, some evidence. So every entrepreneur, even if you're young, you still have many social proofs so far you need to show, even about yourself. And then as long as you have achievements, each achievement brings you another social proof. Then you can leverage it to get to the next level each time. But this is something that most people they don't talk about. For example, they can win a contest, check contest when I was 12, and now I'm 25, and I don't talk about it. Now, why? Because you need to talk about it. If you have an achievement, it's an actual achievement, not others' achievement, my achievement. And I
Mm-hmm.
already invested lots of time and money and energy in having these achievements, and you need to talk about it because people will draw to your energy, and they will believe in you. And people, usually investors, invest usually in entrepreneurs, not in the idea, because they don't understand the idea so much. They invest in people, and the clients buy from people. So if I like the people, if I trust the people, then I will buy from them. So social proof is a very, very good tool. I can give an example about, I love restaurants very much. I'll give an example from restaurants. If you have two restaurants, okay, one next to the other, and I come and I don't know where to eat and I'm starving, and one is empty and one is full. Now they're both open. The empty one, the owner stands in front of the restaurant and say, come in, please, and eat. And the full one is full inside, and also there's a long line from the entrance to down the street. And I'm starving. So what will I do? I will go to the full one. Now it doesn't sound logic because I'm starving. I should go to the empty one and eat in a few minutes. But no, I will stand in line for a long time, and then I will come to a selector, which always makes me laugh because the selector, I'm a paying customer. I need to beg someone to let me in and pay. and then I will come inside and also wait for a long time. Why do I do it? I do it because in a matter of seconds, my mind, I'm saying to myself at the subconscious level, I'm not taking it to the conscious level, but it's in subconscious level. I'm talking to myself and saying, okay, if there is a long line here, then it's probably the food is good, the food is fresh. Okay, so I will stand here. And if no one is here, probably it's not good. And then I stand in line. So this is social proof because my mind thinks that like if many people are doing it, it's okay. So if I am entrepreneur, I have something to sell, I need to use evidence, objective evidence in order to sell, not just say, I'm great, take me or buy my product, but show me evidence and then people will buy. And the evidence I can show both verbally and in writing.
Well, this is why reviews are so powerful and popular. This is why, like, anytime anybody sells anything, you get an email asking you to review it, right? Because it's like, it's just like that restaurant example. It's like if you go to Amazon and you see two things that are the same thing, and one has a bunch of reviews and good things people say, and one has none or just bad reviews, it's obvious which one you're going to buy.
Yeah.
I always say too, I don't know how you feel about this, but like as far as you were talking about achievements as social proof, but another thing that I like to use as social proof is I call it soul pay. When somebody sends me a message or leaves a comment on something that a video of mine or something that speaks to my character, like thank you so much for always providing great whatever, or for being a bright light in the world or whatever it is. And what I do is I screenshot it. I have like a
Yeah.
folder on my phone and I have a folder on my computer where I keep these screenshots and I use them in my marketing. I use them in my stories on social media, but I'll also use them from time to time in other places because it's not an achievement, but it speaks to my character and it's coming from somebody else. Like I got one of my favorite ones was like, you knowing you is like winning the lottery,
No,
right?
amazing.
So that
Yeah.
says nothing about what I do. It just speaks about me. And that was from one of my clients, right? So like, or working with you is like winning the lottery or something like that. So that's
What, what,
another.
what you what you mentioned is very important, a very powerful tool because if a client loves you and then it will say it's a great copy, by the way, it's like winning the lottery, knowing you. Now, who knows about it? Just you and him, or you and her, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now, if you take this and you put a testimonial, you document the message, okay, and then you leverage the message, you publish the message. Then it's not you and him or you and her, but it's now everyone, all your community. They see it. And like you said, maybe people don't know what you do, but they see, wow, I should meet Amy because someone says that it's like winning the lottery. So what do you do? And then I will read your LinkedIn more or your website or something like that. So the idea is when you have an achievement, for example, the achievement was, a client is satisfied. Okay, this is an achievement. But now again, just you and him know about it. But now
Mm-hmm.
if you take a document and you take a testimonial, then you leverage it to the next level. You publish it. And then someone else comes and maybe there are bigger clients. So now it's another leverage. And then you take this client when he's satisfied and also take a testimonial out of him. And then you climb the ladders, and all the time, you become better. This is how I sold my books, by the way. I went to book fairs, international book fairs worldwide. The three biggest book fairs in the world are in London, Beijing, and Frankfurt. Or even all the American publishers are there, everyone. All the publishers and literary agents from all over the world, they come to three places, 4 days each time in the world. So I went there and I visited them since 2012, and I sold the copyright, the rights of my books. And each time I sold the rights to some country, I use it as a leverage to the next negotiation. For example, I manage Vietnam, to sell to Vietnam. By the way, big country, more than 100 million people. And then I came to China, and then I sold it to China. It took time, but I told China I had the social proof. I had lectures in Vietnam. I had pictures of dozens of people from the Far East. Then I come to China, a similar country, and then you say, look, I can show you how the book succeeds. And then after China, I came to Taiwan. I said, "Wow, your big brother, bought the rights. So why not you?" And then you leverage it each time for a negotiation. It's easier, to leverage it each time for the next step. So you need to use any achievement you have.
Yeah, I love that. And it is like exercising a muscle because I feel like a lot of people are um they're too like it feels weird to like share things that other, achievements, like to boast about yourself, I guess. And like I know like taking the screenshots of the nice things that people say, like for me, it has just become a habit over time as I've done it. At first, it was just like, that's really nice, but like to share it would feel like make me feel super self-conscious. But now, like each time I get one, I just screenshot it, I put it in my story for the day, but then I save it. I have a highlight reel like in Instagram or whatever that has it's all my social proof. So it's all if somebody goes to my profile and wants to see a bunch of stuff in one place, like they can click on that highlight reel and it's just accumulating there over
Yeah.
time. So it lives on. And I think it is like a muscle that people have to work out basically,
I
because
think
I do.
it's important for entrepreneurs to realize. I think it's the opposite. Social proof is a tool for shy people, for humble people, because you don't need to talk about yourself. You let other
Mm,
people talk about you. So, for example, if you say you're right, oh, it's amazing. I have my clients are so happy with me, blah blah blah. Then it's vain. Okay, but if you say, look, how exciting it's to get this message from client the first thing in the morning, and then you show the message, then it's authentic, then
mhm.
it's you're just showing to others what people wrote. So if you're shy, if you're humble, if you don't like to market yourself, then social proof is the best tool for you.
Mm-hmm. Would you recommend that somebody, if they don't like get messages like this that they can screenshot, would you recommend that somebody ask for
Yes.
some testimonials, and what's the best way to do that?
Yes, I believe first of all in being proactive. Don't wait for things to come to you. Just create your own reality. Both strategically and tactically. So if you need people to share their views on you or review your book or something like that, then just ask them. Ask them. By the way, some of the strategy you mentioned Amazon. If you have two books, one with lots of reviews, none, not one with none. So it's like what comes first, because if there is a book with no reviews, then they will always stay with no reviews. It's like there is a tip jar, in the restaurant. So there are researchers that if you will put a tip jar on the counter and it will be empty at the beginning of the shift, it will remain empty at the end of the shift, because no one will be the first one to put money. So who is the first one to put money in the bartender's tip jar? The bartender, right? The bartender, the staff, they put money. Why they put money? It's like I put money and then I will take it back a few hours from now. No, I put money for other people to put money. So, for example, on Amazon, what you do is you ask friends and family, and you ask colleagues, and you ask people to write. Obviously, it needs to be authentic. I need to have an account on Amazon, etc. But you ask many people, many maybe colleagues from your area to write a review, and after you get enough reviews, then you are good to go. And then some people you don't know will give you reviews, and then it spreads, and it starts showing out. So yeah, ask people, create your own reality. By the way, this podcast, us being here, is because I gave sent emails to many podcasts, okay, relevant to my business, sales, marketing, entrepreneurs, public speaking,
Mhm.
etc. And out of dozens of podcasts, I had few positive answers, and then start doing business together. So
Yeah.
we are
Got to
here
put
because
yourself out
I
here.
initiate something. I said I have a book. My American publisher told me we have a book on bookstores. We need to get a podcast. Okay, we American podcast. I live in Israel, like you said, 7 hours ahead. I live in Israel, so I don't live in the United States. I don't have connections, almost none in the United States. So my mission, if I would like to succeed in the United States, is to approach people, successful people like you, with podcasts, and operate together, and do a combination cooperation together. So this is what I did. Again, my initiative. So this is what I do worldwide. This is what I recommend my clients to do.
Well, and I think collaboration is so important. And especially as entrepreneurs, I think, again, going back to that, a lot of people have that competitive mindset rather than, we
Active
can all
mindset.
help each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I want to help other people succeed in their businesses, and so do you. I mean, that's what you do
Yeah.
for a living, right? So it's like to be able to give somebody a platform on this podcast, like it's an honor
It's a
and a
win-win.
joy
It's a
for
win-win solution. Win-win
yeah,
solution. And
absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to make sure that we talk about your new book because I want to hear the 21st Century Sales Bible. So you had another book called The Sales Bible, and this is
no,
a
this is the 21st Century Sales Bible. This is the book.
okay.
And this is my fifth book in English. By the way, I sold this book this year alone, not just to United States and North America, but also to India and to China and to Vietnam and to Russia,
Wow.
and yet to come. So I think my biggest professional achievement is that I managed to sell the same book to three different superpowers, different mentalities: Russia, China, the United States. So obviously, each publishing house will adapt a little bit the content to the target audience, but the same book, which means that the tools are relevant for everyone. Because I'm talking a lot about the subconscious level, and subconscious is the same. You know, we all people, our mind operates the same. So 10 it combines 10 commandments, 10 chapters in the book in Sales Bible. Each commandment is a chapter with many stories and examples how to improve your income, increase your income, how to improve your to build a brand, to build your professional authority, to develop your business to success. And it's for entrepreneurs, it's also for managers, it's also for business owners, it's for students that would like to to build a business and to leverage the degree. And I'm very proud of this book. There is a saying with authors that my first book, I was 27 years old when I wrote it, and my second book, I was, I think, 28. So there was a saying among authors that the first book, it took me 27 years to write, because I took everything I had inside the book, and the second book is just 3 years, the gap between them. So this book, I believe, it's my best book, and it contains many examples and stories from my experience, from my clients' experience worldwide, by the way. So you can have a different perspective from different areas, different markets. This is the uniqueness of this book.
It sounds amazing. So when you say you've sold it to these different countries, does that mean well, I'm sure it's being translated, right, into these
Yes,
different
translate.
languages, but you said it's also being kind of written in
Repackage.
some ways
Yes,
to fit with the
I sell the rights, the terms, the legal terms. I sell the rights of the book. For example, for Russia, to translate to Russia, and I sign an agreement, let's say 3 years agreement, that they can spread the book, publish the book in Russia and sell it in Russia in a Russian language. They translate the book. Each nation, each country, they do a little bit adaptation, because stories maybe not currently, or some words they need to change or something like that. But they buy the book in English, okay, and then they make their own version. And this is how I can write one book and I can sell it worldwide to many countries. And today every book is actually free platforms. You have a printed book, you have ebook, and you have audiobook. So I once wrote an article, how can you sell the same book to 3 different publishing houses in the same country? So this is the answer. You can sell to one publishing house the audio and one the ebook and one. So actually, I told you before that what we sell, you and I, is our knowledge and our time, and we need to protect our knowledge and our time. We talked about copying our knowledge. So when you write a book, actually you preserve your knowledge, because now it's copyright. Now everyone knows when the book was published. And now you get it out there, and what is here is now being spread all over the world. It's a great business model. So when I work with entrepreneurs, for example, I'll immediately say, how can we leverage your knowledge? How can you leverage, what is the business model that we can take this product or service and leverage it in a maximum way?
That's awesome. So when you say you sell the rights to a country, are you selling it to a publishing house, or are you selling it, who is they that you're
Yeah,
selling it to?
there is the publishing house, and maybe sometimes I connect directly with publishing house, sometimes through a literary agent. In Russia, there is the biggest publishing house there, Bobora. They bought my book, The Sales Bible. In China, X Iron, again, one of the biggest Chinese publishing house. Obviously, when the book is published, I lecture a lot about the book online. Today, thank God for Zoom, you know. So I gave lots of lectures on Zoom to Russia, to Vietnam, to China, to India, to United States, different hours. And also I come for a roadshow when the book is published, you know, signing in bookstores and meeting the audience. I have lots of success in the Far East with my previous books. I enjoyed very much Southeast Asia and the Far East. You know, my books were, you know, published in India, Vietnam, Hong Kong, Macau, China, many more countries. So it's great. It's great. And they love, I can tell you that they admire the Jewish people, and also they admire Israel as startup nation. So actually, I feel when I'm there that we have a very big relative advantage when I'm there. And they are eager to know, they're eager to learn knowledge, Western knowledge about how to develop business and to learn the mentality that of to be proactive. It's something that's missing in those nations. Being proactive, being, you know, share your thoughts, how to speak clearly, you know, how to have big dreams and you accomplish them. It's something that's missing them, and the successful people there would like to learn from us how to do it.
Yeah. You're such a good example of what it looks like to be proactive and to just put yourself out there and just move, you know, without fear or moving through the fear and just doing
Oh,
what needs to be
there
done.
is fear. By the way, there is fear. I overcome it, and I treat myself to overcome it. And each time I think like you know, again I give one step at a time, and all the time accomplish more. I remember the first time, it was 10 years ago. I went to the United States to lecture for American company. It was the first time that American country not related to Israel approached me after one of my books, that they saw one of my books, and they called me for 2 days workshop in New Jersey. And I went there, and they brought all the managers from all over America for 1 day workshop with me. And they paid a lot, and they you know, gave me a ticket to New Jersey. And I remember I said to myself, wow, it's amazing, because they invest a lot in me from Israel to come to teach Americans how to sell. And they have so many John Smiths there that they can tell them, and there is a fear that why they need me for, you know, how can I teach them? And then I said to myself, well, like I told you before, I understand that I have a mission to help Americans because I bring a unique perspective from Israel. I don't need to be John Smith, because I will never be John Smith, but I will be Dr. Yaniv Zaid from the Middle East, and this is why they bring me. Okay, because other times they will hear John Smith, it will be okay. But for me, this is when I finished the workshop there, I felt that like it's another professional accomplishment, that I was very proud of myself about the, you know, the way I did.
Yeah. That's amazing. And again, I think that's one of the things that stops us is we don't give ourselves enough credit. We think like, who am I to be doing this or being paid to be able to teach these people something, like, and that's where our fear gets in the way. And we have to just give ourselves more credit than we typically do, and just own it and just move through it and do it. And I'm sure it feels so good every time you do that.
Yes.
And now you know how to help other people do that too. So what would be like a tip that you could give people as far as how would you motivate somebody that is stuck or stopped? And you know, is there a tip?
Provide them. I think the call to action, you need to provide people with tools, with practical tools, simple tools that they can act. If you give people simple instructions, they will do it. If you try to complicate them, they won't do it. You know, there was a research in the 60s in the United States how to persuade people to get vaccinated. And they took 100 students in one of the universities, and they showed them a presentation about how to get vaccinated. I think it was polio or something like that. And they gave them a very good presentation, half-an-hour presentation. They explained why they need to get vaccinated, what will happen if they don't, etc. And then the call to action was go and get vaccinated. So they checked one month later, and out of 100 students, only 3 got vaccinated, just 3% conversion rate. So it was they were amazed. They said, well, the presentation was so good. What happened? What happened? Life happened. You know, the students got off the lecture, and they said, well, I need to get vaccinated. It's just I have a test 2 days from now, so I will finish the test, and then I will go get vaccinated, and then you lose you know, the momentum. And then they took another group of students, 100 students, and they told them the exact same presentation after half an hour, go and get vaccinated. But this time they gave them a map of the campus with X where the clinic is located and with hours that it's open and the phone number they should ring. And they told them go and get vaccinated. And then they checked 1 month later, 33 people out of 100, 11 times more, got vaccinated. Now, what is the difference? The specific call to action. You help people do the act. You don't tell them, well, just do it. Go and find out what to do. No, this is the number. Call the number. This is the hours. Check your diary. Go to get vaccinated. And if we're talking about networking for entrepreneurs, and usually I meet people in conferences, and most time I try to say something. Okay, give me your details. And people will say, "Oh, you should Google me. Go and Google me."
Yeah, that's never
why should I remember you? I will go. You expect me to go home, remember you out of all the people I met, check your website, check contact us in your website, check the number if you have a number, and then contact you. Why? Just give me your mail and phone number right now. So just Google me. It sounds good. It sounds like I'm not. You need to chase me a little bit, but no, people don't like to chase other people. If we need to be connected, then just give your number, mail, and start the connection.
Yeah.
So give people specific instructions, they will do it.
Yeah, that's such a good tip. And we do it a lot in marketing too, as far as like showing, okay, so you go to this page, click the buy button, and then put in your contact information on this page, like walk them through the process.
There are researchers, I told you I write landing pages and the scripts, etc. So there is a research that if you write, for example, let's say I market a conference and I will write on the button, the click button, for further information about the conference. Okay, so we'll have X conversion rate, let's say 20%. If I write for more information about the conference, click here. Now I have 20% more, let's say 24%, not 20%. If I write for more information about the conference, click here now with an exclamation mark. Okay, now I have 40% more. I have, for example, 28%. Now, the same action, just I added now, something like that. Now you say to yourself, wow, people are stupid. No, they are not stupid. We're just people. This is how subconscious works. Because if you give me instructions, you say now, like in a traffic, you see a sign, you say, okay, stop. First stop, then I'll explain to you why. Stop. So click here. Okay, I know what to do. I will do it. Later. It's more chance that I will do it.
Yeah, it's human psychology. We need to be told what to do, or if we do tell people what to do, they're a lot more likely to do it than if we just. I see this all the time with people like, what? They put up this amazing piece of content with no call to action at the end. And they're like, why isn't anybody clicking on my link? Well, because you didn't tell them to click on your link. You didn't tell them where the link is. You didn't tell them why to click on nothing, so.
Lecturers that I see that they gave great presentation. And then the last slide, thank you. Thank you. No email, no website, no saying well, I have workshop opening soon, or if you have any questions, please free to contact me or something like that. And you just finish the lecture, thank you, and then you go out, go off the stage and get off the stage, and then probably sometimes they even go, and people are trying to communicate with them, they can't. So you lose all the leverage from your lecture.
Yeah, we have to always let people know how they can work with us further, how they can take the next step. So speaking of that, I know we're getting to the end of our time. I want to make sure you have time to let people know, besides being an author of all these amazing books, what other ways do you work with people? And
I help small medium businesses who would like to market their products better or to increase their income. I work with entrepreneurs who would like to develop the business, develop the startups, or raise money. I help also to raise money and to build the perfect presentation. With authors that would like to sell the rights of the books worldwide. With lecturers who would like to build the lecture and market the lecture worldwide. And also big companies with sales department, marketing departments, management would like to improve this year. So I help them by consulting, by lectures, by workshop, by courses, and by books, and also digital courses. So you can find me in my website is drpersuasion.com. And also my email is yaniv@yanivzaid.com. It's YANIV@YANIVZAID.com. Yaniv@yanivzaid.com. And you can, if you hear us anytime, you can send me an email or check my website, and I will be happy to answer any question you may have.
I love it. And I'm going to put all this in the show notes, but just for anybody that's listening. So Dr. Persuasion, is that spelled out
No, it's
DOCTOR or is it
It's
DR?
DR Persuasion, DRPERSUASION.com.
Okay.
Dr.
All
Persuasion.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to know. I
By the
love
way,
that domain name.
another superhero. By the way, Doctor Persuasion. I saw a movie, Marvel movie. It's The Guardians, and there was a superhero there, Doctor Manhattan. It was actually the chemistry, and he had some accident in his lab, and then he became superhero. So it was 15 years ago. I just wrote my PhD, and then I said, "Oh, Doctor Manhattan, Doctor Persuasion. I would like to be Doctor Persuasion." And immediately I bought the IP of drpersuasion.com, and 3 years later, when I finished my PhD, when I was actually a doctor, then I started branding myself as Dr. Persuasion. Also a gimmick. It was a good gimmick, and some people know me as Dr. Persuasion, and some as Dr. Yaniv Zaid. It's okay.
Well, I love it. And it's important to brand ourselves, right? And I love how you kind of like cast it out there before you were even a doctor and then lived into the brand,
Yeah.
developed into the brand. That's pretty cool. Um, so before we close, I just wanted to ask you, like I said, I'm going to put all of your information in the show notes. If there's anything else you want to mention as far as how people can find you, you're welcome to do that, or any other closing thoughts, anything that I didn't ask you that you want to say, or anything else about yourself that you want to share, anything.
Maybe just summarize what we talked about, for entrepreneurs, be authentic, sell the problem before the solution, speak and write in clear words, do a good call to action, a very specific call to action. Don't be shy, live your dream, and fulfill your life. And if you have an idea, don't let anyone tell you you can't, because you can. And I guess I love the previous chapters of your podcast I listened to, because I believe in living in alignment to your mission. So every entrepreneur, find your mission and then go and get it. And when you develop a service or product, and ask yourself why clients need it. Get into the head of the other side, and then it will be easier for you to sell it, if whether it's an idea or service or product or even yourself.
And be authentic.
Be authentic. I started with it, we'll finish with it. Be authentic, be the best version of yourself. Again, in 2024, I think it's the only way, because if you try to be fake or try to say something it's not true or try to be someone else, besides the legal aspect, it won't work. It just won't work for the long term. So in the long term, you need to find your own unique voice, and we all have unique voice. We all have unique voice. It's very important for me to emphasize it, and go and get it. Whenever you are, wherever you are, just go and get it.
Well, it's interesting, 2024, AI, artificial intelligence. So many people I see now are being less and less authentic because they're relying on artificial intelligence to write their stuff for them. And I don't actually do that at all. And not that I, won't use it if I need help with, I don't know, hashtags or something like that. But I don't like to use even artificial intelligence's voice as my own. And I
I
feel,
can tell you about it. I also don't use AI, and I teach AI. I have workshops for marketing writing. I teach AI, but I don't use it. And I tell people all the time. First of all, there's legal aspects. For example, today, if you would like to write a cookbook, okay, cooking book, and then you said to AI, please write to me cooking book about cakes. What the algorithm will do? It will take 10 cooking books, and they will create a book for you, but you actually violated the rights now of 10 authors, So there is a very big legal issues. But beside that, I would say AI today, maybe it will be better, the system a year or 10 years from now. But today, it's missing the secret ingredient of the human nature. And each time I say to my clients, if you try to write a website or to tell your story or landing page, even if you use AI, and it's okay because sometimes you want to be more creative or to get more ideas. Okay, get the idea from the AI, but the formula, the the last writing should be yours, because you have your secret ingredient, the feelings, your stories, the human touch that AI can't replace it, not yet at least. So even if you use AI in order to be more creative or to get ideas, or to learn more, something like that, you should have the final call.
Your personality. Your
Yeah,
personality, and that's the whole piece about authenticity. It's your personality, nobody else's, not artificial intelligence. Nobody can replicate your personality. And so yeah, I think it's such an important piece. And again, I feel like AI is being misused because of the laziness factor too. People want to crank out more content or put out more things, so they figure, well, I'll just have AI write everything and it'll take less time. But it's not yours, it's not in your voice, it's not going to attract the right people.
and
Like
you
what I
and you
always
don't
say.
and you don't learn anything. If you're a student, you don't actually learn anything. If you copy, if AI makes all the the job for you as you're a student, or even a professional, as a lawyer or something like that, you don't actually develop yourself. You don't learn anything. So
Mm,
all the idea for us humans or human beings is to learn, and every expert is a student, and you always learn. All as long as we breathe and live, we learn new stuff. So AI can't replace us, and shouldn't replace us.
no, it can't. And um I was just going to say something else about AI. Um I just completely lost my train of thought. But oh, I was gonna say, like, it's very vanilla. Like, I feel like, so when I first started, AI, was not even a thing when I first started 20 years ago, like creating content and stuff like that. I was always afraid, especially when videos started coming on the scene, and I was afraid to go on video because I was afraid that if people could see my face and hear my voice and hear that I'm a fast talking girl from New Jersey, that
Mhm.
they would be turned off, and that it was easier for me to write my copy and edit it as much as I want to without having my face on it or my voice on it or anything like that, because it wouldn't turn anybody away. And what I learned is that when I am willing to put myself out there, warts and all, as I like to say, like as myself, with my voice, with my face, whatever, some people will be turned off by that, as they will with anybody, but the right people will follow you forever. They'll
Yes.
they'll as long as you're being yourself, certain people will resonate with that and want to be around you. And I have had people that have been like on my email list for decades because
Yeah.
they're just like, they've just been watching my journey as I go or whatever, and they like my personality and what I have to say, where other people don't, and that's fine. And I think that's another thing, like people want to appeal to everybody. So using AI might be a way to just create like this vanilla content that isn't going to turn anybody away, but is it really going to attract people at a deep level either? Probably not, right?
Yeah, people probably, maybe they won't hate you, but they won't love you. You need people to love
Right.
you. I had the same challenge. I started when I was very, very young, 20 something. Today is maybe more common, but then all my area of expertise, people were 40, 40, 50 years old. I was 20 years old. And when I started, I remember I hide my age. For example, I didn't tell how old I am. When I published my first book, it's called public speaking. I refused to put a photo in the back cover of the book, and the publishing house in Israel told me we should put a photo because usually this is what you do. So I said no, 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 because I'm very young, it will look young, and the book
Mm.
is good. The book is authentic. It's very professional. People see if they will read it, they will say, "Wow, it's a great book." If they will see the picture, maybe they won't buy it. And after a few books, again, I think it's a journey we all need to do. Then I realized that I'm selling myself, and it's the best version of me.
You could have AI put some wrinkles on your picture for you, make you
Yeah,
look
yeah.
make
Today
you
you can
look
do anything. 20 years ago, it wasn't no.
Well, this has been such a great conversation. I appreciate it so much. And I think, my audience is going to really love this conversation as well. So um, I will, like I said, I will put everything, all of your contact information and information in the show notes. And I just
Yeah.
want to say thank you again. And
Thank you, Amy, very much. It was a privilege to be here. And thank you all the listeners. And check 21st Century Sales Bible. And hopefully we'll meet soon. Thank you very
You
much.
said that the 21st Century Sales Bible is available now on Amazon and all those
Available
places.
online, some of the bookstores in North America, but also online. Amazon also both as audio and ebook and printed book. So check the book, check my website again, drpersuasion.com. And again, if you have any question, I will be happy to answer any question you may have. And this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. So thank you
Yes,
very much.
absolutely. I want an autograph copy of that book. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you can send me an email with your address, and I will send a book by mail.
Oh,
Okay,
that
by
would be cool. I would love
by
to read your book.
process.
I'm sure I
Great.
could learn a thing or two. And then I could do a review of it too, on YouTube.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, anyway, it's been a pleasure meeting you. Thank you everybody for listening, and we will see
Nice.
you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Bye bye.